First I want to show you a video of a couple of my aunts.
In case I don't see you again, that the plane has been taken over by hijackers. And then I said, well, we love you very much too, Mark. Let me go get your mother.
I got on the phone, Mark, and he said, hi, Mom, this is Mark Bingham. Give me his last name. And he said, I want to let you know that I love you. And I'm flying, I think he said I'm in the air. I'm calling you on the air phone of the airplane.
In his seat.
Today I'm here to let you have a peek into the life of a great friend, a loving brother, and an American hero who positively impacted the lives of many people whom he encountered throughout his life. His name was Mark Bingham. He was my stepfather's nephew and a great friend to me. Mark attended Los Gatos High School and went on to graduate from Cal Berkeley. He was a compassionate and competitive man who hated to lose at anything. Mark was a very determined person who accomplished many things throughout his life against all odds. His life story is encouraging, and his actions in the face of danger were truly heroic. Mark is a hero to many and was the type of person who would jump into the action in the face of danger. On a family rafting trip, a little girl from another family's raft was getting drifted down into the current, and my stepdad initially jumped in to save her, and Mark had to jump in and save both of them because the waters were so cold. He had also successfully protected his partner from attempted muggings in San Francisco. Once was at gunpoint. Another main reason why he is a hero has to do with the major role that he played in the overtaking of the terrorists on Flight 93 of September 11th that tragically crashed into the ground at 600 miles per hour. Mark's mother heard the black box recordings. According to the recordings, after breakfast, 3 of the 4 men got out of their first-class seats and overtook the cockpit, immediately killing the stewardess who let them in and the pilots. Mark then organized the gang to rush the cockpit. Last-minute phone calls and the black box recordings proved that Mark showed truly heroic actions by fighting back against the terrorists that day on 9/11. The Capitol building was full of hundreds of people that day, and that plane was the only plane out of the 4 planes that didn't hit their destination that day. So Mark's actions truly saved hundreds of people's lives. It was truly a great loss to see him go, but at least I know he was brave in the face of danger, and he helped every way he could until his tragic death. Now that I've shown you how he was a hero, I want to show you how he was strong and encouraging. As a gay man, he smashed the gay stereotype mold and really opened the door for gay men after him. He was a 6-foot athlete and coached and played for the gay inclusive rugby team and the SF Fog. In 2001, most of the Fog players were brand new to the game, but he showed up and coached and went to every practice just out of the goodness of his heart. In May 2001, as a member of the Fog rugby team, he took part in the Washington, D.C. Invitational Tournament. After the tournament, his friend who was inspired by the tournament called him and wanted to make a New York City rugby team. He was already spending a lot of time in the East Coast because he just opened up a successful public relations firm in New York, so he was excited about this idea. Over the summer, Mark and his buddies started to plan for the formation of the Gotham Knights. This dream was crushed on September 11th. Mark boarded Flight 93 at the last minute. With the crash of this plane went the life of the strongest and most encouraging person in my life. The Mark Kendall Bingham Memorial Tournament was established in 2002 in his memory. And the tournament referred to as the Bingham Cup is an international rugby union competition predominantly for gay and bisexual men. Lastly, I want to tell you how Mark was a very determined man who accomplished many great things in his life. He continuously made attempts to better his life. He put himself through Berkeley and graduated at the top of his class. And he played for the UC Berkeley rugby team, helping them win a string of national championships. He was an outgoing entrepreneur with high aspirations. He graduated at the top of his class from Berkeley with a degree in social sciences with an emphasis on public relations. And he was the president of his fraternity Chi Pi, or Chi Psi, however you say it. He went on to open a successful public relations firm in New York. Now that you all know a little bit about Mark Bingham, I'm sure that you can all see why and how he was truly a heroic, encouraging, and accomplished man to have lost. Many times in the face of extreme adversity, Mark risked his life to save others. If there is one thing that I wish for you all to take and remember from this speech, is that you only live once, so don't miss out on doing your best by doing less than you can. Any questions or comments?
Let's start with questions, class. Would you like to know more about?
How old was he?
He was 31.
Okay, let's move in. Oh, questions? Or are we into comments?
Question?
You showed a picture with him with a baby. Was that his kid?
No. He was actually gay. He didn't have a kid, but and that was one of his nieces. His mom actually had 5 kids, triplets and twins, so that was one of them. They all look really alike. Another question?
Was he on the plane with anyone?
Yeah, he was on the plane with I think almost 50 other passengers, so it was a light load that day.
Was he on it with anybody else?
Oh no, he was by himself. He was like going to his fraternity brother's wedding. He got on the plane very last minute. That's how the type of person he was, just running to his own graduation with his cap falling off, and they let him on. I wish they wouldn't have, but again, he saved a lot of lives. And they let him on. He was running there. They weren't supposed to let him on. They let him on the plane, and he was on the plane alone going to a wedding, but he wasn't on the plane with anyone else. But Todd Beamer and 3 other people, according to the black box recordings that my aunt heard, did a lot to save hundreds of people's lives that day.
Comments, class. What impressed you today?
I really enjoyed your visuals. They were very powerful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you spoke really well. You're like really calm and confident. So.
Thank you.
I thought you were very organized, very calm.
Thank you very much.
Other comments?
I really hope you share this with his mom. I meet with her once a month at the P-Flag meetings.
Really?
So I think she would really like to see it.
Yeah, she already asked me to show it to her. I did a phone call, like interview with her for about a half hour. That's how I got all these details. A lot of details I left out because they were just a little too much, but I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of what she told me. Because she was a former stewardess, actually. So while she was hearing the recordings, she knew exactly what was going on because she knows all the noises of the inside of the planes, which must have been horrible. She said she could hear his voice fighting to the very end.
Wow. Last comment?
I had a question. What was the black box?
It's the cockpit recordings. It's just what they call them. It's a black box. It's like steel and reinforced, but also can record things. They found it 40 feet underground. It was the only thing that was like intact. Everything else was in pieces. In the trees, mainly just disintegrated. They hit the ground at 600 miles per hour. They were going like 1,500 feet at 600 miles per hour. They're supposed to be 60,000 feet in the air when you're going that fast. So they're going 1,500 feet at 600 miles per hour before finally they just did this weird turn right into the ground. And then the black box is what recorded everything.
I think this was a really honorable tribute to an honorable man, and I know that I, for one, I'm guessing I'm not alone here, appreciated. I knew his story, but I didn't know a lot of what you told us. You gave us an insider glimpse into who who he was as a person, not just who he was as a hero. So I really appreciate that. It was very professional today. Your speech was easy to follow. Visual aids, I think, were quite strong for your speech. And overall, it's a speech that I think we will remember. It definitely relates to your audience. I want to see you work on letting go of your note cards next time and gestures. Nicely done.